All righty. Well, good morning and welcome to Monday. And it is June the 20th today. And happy Juneteenth to those of you who think that's important, as I do. Today's devotion is entitled The Bruised and the Depleted. The Bruised and the Depleted. A bruised reed he will not break, and a smoldering wick he will not snuff out. In faithfulness he will bring forth justice. Isaiah 42:3. When we built our home in 1990, our daughters stuck whirlybird-like maple seeds in pots and later planted the seedlings in the lawn. Now the trees are taller than the house and send out their own fleets of whirlybirds every spring. I spend hours pulling up sprouting maples. I do the same. One of them escaped my notice a year or two ago, and he grew as tall and straight as a teenager. A month ago, my friend Ben Almasi and I replanted him in the field behind our house. "God make you thrive, little fellow," said Ben. The next day I went down to check on the little fellow and was horrified to see every leaf gone, all stripped away. It was the little fawn that had been hanging around. He had eaten every leaf and enjoyed some of the bark. There was nothing left but a naked rod sticking out of the ground. I considered the maple a lost cause, and I put a tomato cage around him and waited. Within days, he produced a big new set of green leaves. Ben's blessing worked. My little maple was, as the prophet Isaiah put it, a bruised reed, a plant that had been damaged. To Isaiah, a damaged plant was symbolic of people who've been bruised in life. They are bruised reeds because they've been wounded. They are smoldering wicks because they are depleted. They're almost out of fuel, running low on energy, hope, and resiliency. I said earlier that the book of Isaiah is full of prophetic information about Christ. In this chapter, Isaiah 42, we have an incredible prediction about the tender care Jesus offers to bruised and depleted people. Here's the way the passage reads in the Living Bible, as God the Father describes his Son to us in advance. "See my servant, whom I uphold, my chosen one, in whom I delight. I have put my spirit upon him. He will reveal justice to the nations of the world. He will be gentle. He will not shout nor quarrel in the streets. He will not break the bruised reed nor quench the dimly burning flame. He will encourage the faint-hearted, those tempted to despair. He will see full justice given to all who have been wronged. He won't be satisfied until truth and righteousness prevail throughout the earth, nor until even distant lands beyond the seas have put their trust in him." And that's Isaiah 42, verses 1 through 4 from the Living Bible. Have you been bruised? Are you depleted, faint-hearted, tempted to despair? Turn your eyes to Jesus. He will faithfully tend to you. He knows how to help those needing his gentle touch. "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Jesus offers that invitation in Matthew 11. The closing quote, if you want to call it that, is actually a couple of Bible verses from Jeremiah 17, verses 7 and 8. "But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when heat comes. Its leaves are always green. Really good devotion today. I think probably a big majority of us, if not all of us, answered yes to the questions about whether or not we are bruised. Have you been bruised? Absolutely. Are you depleted? Sometimes that's what it feels like, doesn't it? Just out of gas. How about faint-hearted? How about tempted to despair? Turn your eyes to Jesus. As the hymn would say, turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow faintly dim in the eyes of his glory and grace. Amen, amen, and amen. That's for the bruised and the depleted today. Blessings.